Welcome to Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast, where we bring you news, notes, and more to help you win your championship fantasy football league. Stay tuned and listen in for the great information we have for you today. Welcome to another episode of Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast. I'm Jared.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Scott.
And we're going to give you a little Freestyle Friday / injury news update. So for everybody whose teams are struggling right now with some of the injury news that has gone on, I'm sure most people already know, but we'll just, reaffirm everything that you probably already have heard that has gone on in the league so far.
Yes.
Skipping the bye teams and everything like that. So
yeah. Well, let's start it off though with the most important one. That's Deshaun Watson. Just to get y'all a little flavor on there.
Oh, I was gonna go by team, but
I
that's
know
fine.
we'll go to teams, but I'm saying that's the most obvious one, and I just want to get it off my chest for what they need to do in that situation. Is if you don't already have a quarterback, easily look at Josh McCown because he's a top 7 quarterback in fantasy right now. So yeah, that's that. So let's go to what Jared wants. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. Alright, let's start
keep
with...
it organized.
Oh, my bad. I was like, what?
Thank you.
Well, Arizona's back, so we'll see what they have going on.
Oh,
with
they
them.
are. Huh.
Yes.
It's true.
Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter because, Carson Palmer's down with his torn arm, bicep, whatever it is, shoulder. I don't really know what the injury is. What does it say here?
No, he broke his arm, man.
Yeah, there we go.
Broke his arm. He won't.
He probably won't be back.
He won't. David Johnson, they keep saying that they don't know what's going to happen with him, but I honestly don't think he's coming back, and if he does, he's still in a cast, man. He's not going to catch passes.
He still has to go through rehab, which they've already been talking about, and then they also said that he might even get a touch. If the Cardinals keep losing, then there's no point in bringing him back.
You got Adrian Peterson, man. Ride him into the ground.
Right.
Positive with Adrian Peterson, though, is
Right.
Alex Boone is back. Or, he was already, but he's healthier.
Exactly.
And he's a good run blocking lineman. I know from firsthand in Minnesota.
Yeah, well, anyway, it will be a ton of work for AP because Andre Ellington's also probably going to be down with that quadricep.
Yeah.
I had an update on that today, but he's questionable. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they still have him listed on there. And the did not participate list. So
Yeah, on a Friday,
You're not
too.
practicing.
You're not going to
Yeah.
play. You don't practice on Friday, you ain't
Yeah.
playing unless you have a Monday game. It ain't happening.
let's talk about the ATL.
Atlanta, baby. Just kidding.
That's that.
One of the biggest things on there is what's his name? Vic Beasley, because he's coming back.
Also, he is
Vic
coming back.
Beasley.
Yeah, buddy.
Returned.
But, I mean, he's already returned, but he's coming back into form, I should say.
Yeah.
But they also got
Devontae Freeman
yeah.
with the neck and possible shoulder injury. So
They say he's gonna play. Like even he said, his coach said, they said he's playing. It's the question is he's playing against Carolina, and their run defense is pretty good.
And Luke Kuechly being there.
And he's back, and then you got everybody that seems to be healthy on that team. So
Right.
if you have a solid running back group, I would kind of bite the bullet and bench him because he's only getting 11 carries per game the last 3 games. And even if he gets more this time, I don't see him going off on Carolina. The one I do see going off on Carolina is Tevin Coleman because his pass catching ability is way better, and he's just bigger and he's poised for a better outcome in that game.
oh,
Word is the word.
So we got Baltimore Ravens up next.
Yikes.
So
Baltimore.
This
we
one
have
is tough to look at.
Yeah, Danny Woodhead's gonna make his return coming back in I think next week. I don't think it's this week, but So, you guys can go pick him up off the waiver wire. And then Jeremy Maclin has a shoulder injury going on as of right now. Man. Hey, he'll play through. He played through it last week. He'll probably play through it this week.
He looked pretty good, man.
And Mike Wallace is back, so that's a solid day.
Good.
So it's good
Joe
for Joe Flacco. If someone's in desperate need, you picked him up in, lieu of the Deshaun Watson injury, if you were that kind of desperate, then at least you have an opportunity with him in playing the Tennessee Titans. Not a great secondary, average secondary. So, and then on that, Joe Flacco is said to come back and play. I'm hoping he does after that crazy hit and the concussion.
And they only fined him $9,000.
Yeah.
That was it?
Yep. Didn't even. They're like, no, he's not getting suspended. It wasn't bad. I'm like, are you kidding? Okay, guys.
Are you kidding?
The same league that suspends people for little things, but let's.
Yeah.
Yeah, but.
So those are the important people that you want to know. I mean,
You also want Nick Boyle. No, I'm just kidding. You don't want Nick Boyle, guys.
Maybe somebody does.
I can't wait till Max Williams actually plays.
Mm.
I'm just gonna wait until we get to Houston on that one.
Oh, okay. Whatever you want, Scott.
Definitely hate me, guys, because I hate you. No, I'm just playing.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate it. Buffalo already happened. That game happened, so let's skip that.
No, I want to talk about Buffalo.
I don't, because they broke my heart. No, I'm just kidding. The
The
only one that I liked to hear is Charles Clay, because he was an elite PPR tight end this year. Then he got hurt.
Yeah, and he's still not. Hopefully he'll be back next week, but we'll see.
He still wasn't practicing. They said he probably
got another week.
Yeah. I think he'll play.
Long week for them, so.
And then you got Kelvin Benjamin. Pick up Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, if you guys need somebody to replace Deshaun Watson, maybe Tyrod Taylor just gets his
or trade for him.
I mean, yeah.
He looked good in the fourth quarter.
He looked good in the fourth quarter. That's what I was just about to say.
I mean, he looked good overall. I mean, other than the freaking offensive line not giving him time.
Without the run game, he was pretty easy to figure out after that. And then the fourth quarter, it's like, well, how can it jump?
So 33 points is 33 points, whether you get it in the first or fourth quarter.
Hey, I mean, at the end of it all, 33 points is more than what Derek Carr gave anybody last week.
Oh God, it's
So,
more than what Carson Wentz.
You'll take the garbage time in fantasy,
and more than what any quarterback gave.
You'll take garbage in fantasy, but you want to see him perform overall, so you're not worried through 3/4 of the game. Greg Olsen coming back probably week 11. I think that's when he can actually come back and play.
Yeah.
So possible stash candidate.
Mm-hmm. Without Kelvin Benjamin. Without Kelvin Benjamin.
But they said they wanted to speed up the game in Carolina, so they got rid of him. That didn't make any sense because Greg Olsen's not fast.
Greg Olsen and Ed Dixon are both not fast at all.
Not they're both old tight ends.
Cam Newton's not going to want to play there anymore.
He won't. He's leaving. I guarantee it.
I kind of hope he does.
I kind of hope he does too.
Come to the Vikings next year because Teddy's gonna leave.
Nope, Baltimore.
No, I'm just kidding. That'd be dirty.
Just be crazy to see these players in different jerseys and helmets.
I'm about to see 2 superstars in different jerseys.
Nuts to see
this week or next week.
That'd be crazy.
So what do you guys think about Ed being on Carolina? Ed did his ankle injury.
He'll be fine.
I'm sure it's something minimal.
It's just because he's old.
Yeah.
They're giving him.
I mean,
time.
it wasn't. Yeah, it was never.
I think his fantasy value goes up this week and the following weeks until you get Greg Olsen back. Just because he's like, okay, I got Devin Funchess, but they're gonna double team him now because he's the only good one. And then Ed Dixon's just gonna be there in the middle. Excuse me.
I don't know what's going through Carolina's head. You just gave up a beyond all-star
for a third, or was it a third and 7th?
Something, yeah.
I don't remember. Cincinnati, let's move on to them. Because Chicago's on a bye, so let's go to Cincinnati here. And we have an injury to Tyler Boyd, which, I mean, he's going to be out with a knee injury, but do you think John Ross will do anything?
I think this might be the week.
You think he'll show up?
I want him to.
That's only, honestly, that's only if Andy Dalton can actually.
And it's against the Jaguars, bro.
That's what I'm saying. They'll probably take away the number 1. They'll probably take away the number 2, which is what, LaFell? So maybe a John Ross.
I think John Ross could do some damage, but that's up to if Andy Dalton gets the time and if Andy Dalton can.
That's true. They do have good pass rush.
Pass rush is
All-Star
one of the
Smith
greatest.
Smith is good.
10 sacks in one game.
Yeah,
Three
Calais
weeks
Campbell's
ago.
good.
Calais Campbell's,
He's a baller.
dude, he's way too good.
So we'll see. But I mean,
Yeah,
if you're
it-
desperate, I guess
It
you
really
have to.
Yeah,
With all the injuries that happen and stuff, you might need somebody. Or thin waivers, who knows? Bye weeks.
I
There's
mean,
a lot of things. Sometimes you gotta go with that. Long shot play.
it's
The
only
bold play.
it's only in PPR, but look, Andy Dalton's projected in PPR 16.28 points
That's terrible.
against Jacksonville. He has a 1 star out of 5.
He's only had 1 or 2 games this year that was good.
Honestly,
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. On record, I said I thought he was gonna have a good year this year. And he's doing the exact opposite of what I said.
I told you guys about the Titans. The Titans were going to be really good, and look what's happening to the
I'm
Titans.
like, dang, okay. See,
It's
NFL
crazy.
is unpredictable.
Well, with Dallas, we can move on to the Dallas team. There's no real offensive player other than Dan Bailey, who's got a groin injury and out a month. So sorry for one of the best, most accurate kickers in the league. With the qualifying numbers anyway.
Right.
But-
It sucks.
Nugent looked good, had 14 points for you, so can't go wrong with that. So if you
It's
need a
funny
kicker-
how in Dallas, that's the only person that we care about.
You're right.
Yeah, really, 'cause
And then
Dallas.
the female abuser, the running back for Dallas.
Yeah,
Sorry.
random news in that is going to be able to play this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I just didn't want anyone to know, really, because they should just drop him and never let him play. I'm just kidding.
We'll do our
Well-
best to keep the politics out.
Right.
But he
I mean-
should just be suspended.
It's not
yeah.
politics.
It is, though.
Yeah.
But you got to think about it. You got to think about
Football.
That's
The
that's
longer-
the reason why people hate on
Football takes-
ESPN is because they always bring up all the side stuff where they just
Like
want to
that
about
was
sports.
good. It's like,
So that's
Well-
why we're trying to not do that as much.
it.
Just give you the sports.
And what they're saying is that if Ezekiel Elliott continues to try to fight this, and the longer it goes, and if Dallas goes into the playoffs, that's going to continue on to the playoffs. So if he ends up
already
getting
begun.
suspended, if he ends up getting suspended before the playoffs, he's out of the playoffs. He's not even going to help his team.
Karma's a bear.
Right. So I would rather have that kind of happen if Dallas has a chance to go to the playoffs. I'd rather have him not play.
Mm-hmm.
But that's,
That's cool with me. I'd rather them not make it, but it's cool. I'm just kidding. Good news on a different team, Denver. We're gonna go to them. Emmanuel Sanders can finally
Look
fire
at
him
that.
back up, so that brings more value. I know it's Brock Osweiler starting, but that brings more value to Demaryius Thomas and Sanders. Now instead of Thomas getting double and triple teamed, he can freaking finally get his normal play. He's finally.
Yeah, get
I think
free.
he's gonna do damage. Sanders might not this week because he's coming off that ankle injury, but I definitely fire up
They
Demaryius
said he's
Thomas.
progressing fast, though. So
Yeah,
hopefully, might not be 100%, but an 80 Emmanuel could be pretty nice out there, especially when they can actually make some separation now in the offense.
Denver's going to lose anyway.
C.J. Anderson, I would play him, but it's kind of hard to determine what they're going to do. They don't commit to a single running back. They like to, I don't know. When the games they've won, they have started C.J. Anderson the majority of the game, and they've won.
I think this is going to be interesting because Brock Osweiler was also named the starter this week. So, he can't be any worse than Trevor Siemian. Trevor Siemian looks just as bad as Brock Osweiler has ever looked.
Yeah, he's looked like Brock Osweiler.
This could be
as well.
confidence for Brock Osweiler
Trevor
because
Siemian.
you got nothing to lose.
What if he goes off, man?
Trevor Siemian had a starting job. Okay?
He didn't want it though.
Brock Osweiler lost his position in Houston, went to Cleveland, and couldn't even get a starting job in Cleveland.
All right, Cleveland, I understand because who you're throwing to.
Yeah.
Who the hell are
You have
but
Kenny
Houston.
Britt walking routes. You have Kenny Britt walking routes. That's what you have in Cleveland.
I just can't wait to see him throw like 5 picks. I don't.
He'll throw 3 picks.
As long as he throws
But he'll
one
throw 2
touchdown,
touchdowns.
one to
No, he
Demaryius and one to
He will.
Emmanuel. Let's go. He will. He gets touchdowns. He can get a touchdown. He's a gunslinger.
Yep.
It's a terrible quarterback.
All right. I bet that Brock Osweiler throws 2 touchdowns this week.
Okay. And then I will say he doesn't.
What's the wager on it? What are we getting?
Chipotle.
Chipotle? You're much taller than
God, I want a Chipotle bet. The fuck.
Okay.
Actually, no, it's not just Chipotle because it was gross last time.
Yeah, you got any
Well,
ratings?
figure-
Blaze Pizza.
Blaze Pizza
Yep,
or Cane's?
Blaze Pizza.
Okay, Blaze
I
now.
don't-
Fine.
I don't
You want to
Blaze.
do Cane's or Chipotle?
For what though?
Yeah,
If I
you got
beat
to come
you.
with your own bet.
If I beat you,
All right, whatever.
Oh, that's better.
Cane's or Chipotle?
Whichever
Don't
one. Hey, that's on the table. We
Okay,
choose.
up for debate.
Whoever wins gets
Yeah.
to choose.
matter. Okay, fine.
All
You gotta
right.
make a limit.
All right, that was a very long handshake.
Now
We
we
just
got
like to
bets.
touch each other.
Mark Oswald, I need 2 touchdowns, and that would work out for me.
He throws like 4. What does
I
that
think it's at
mean?
least 2.
2 Blaze pizzas?
Right.
You should have said 3. 2 is easy. You just bet. I'm just kidding. I'm about to get worked on now in fantasy. I'm about to everyone's gonna tear their ACLs at the start of the game.
Stop. It's already
Last
been
time I
terrible
said-
enough.
Last time I said that, Deshaun Watson did it.
Stop. Because I had Watson and he was my quarterback.
Dude, he was the GOAT! Alright, anyway. Sorry, guys.
Sidetrack.
I'm
but,
sidetracking.
you know, it's all good.
Detroit!
We're back in action this week.
Kenny Galladay.
Hey. He just screamed it.
Yes, Kenny Galladay.
He's not gonna play.
He's not practicing though.
They said he's most likely not gonna play, my bad. Golden Tate, though, healthy now. Fire him up!
And Dwayne Washington's back, and you got carries last week when Amir Abdullah wasn't doing much.
Start
so-
Marvin Jones.
Marvin
Probably
Jones is
start
definitely...
Do not start Amir Abdullah.
Yeah. I
Look,
will...
they has a good matchup against the Packers' soft defense,
Yeah,
but he just runs into nothing.
He does.
Dude,
I
It's
can't
like-
watch it anymore. He runs into nothing.
He's like, oh, there's a guy. Hey.
He's like Latavius Murray. Like, he'll have that one game that's like, holy crap.
He
He's
already
good.
had a 94-yard game. It's over. The rest of the season's over. But what's crazy is maybe he gets right. Maybe he does. He has a softer schedule coming up. It's way softer. So we'll
Except
see what happens.
Thanksgiving against the Vikings.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Softer. That's what I'm saying.
I
Softer
can't
for.
wait. I can't.
The
Just
third
kidding.
best Russian defense.
Oh, why aren't you number 1?
Yeah, because there's freaking me, and then there's you. and then the Vikings. Like, me by myself can stop Adrian Peterson in his prime. Like, I just go right for the nuts. I mean the knee, sorry.
I would go for the nuts headbutt right there.
Yeah! You would kill yourself.
Wait,
You'd be paralyzed.
I'm gonna keep this clean. I was gonna make a joke, but I'm gonna keep this clean.
Oh, dang it. Just do
Is
it.
that head-to-head contact if you go? Like your flag for that?
Nice.
It's a fucking ejection. Ejaculation. Just,
Yeah, we just went from family oriented podcast to an adult podcast.
yes, that's where it needs to be. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, we'll slide down. We'll slide down.
Ooh,
we'll slide
what about
down.
their offensive line? Because I know that.
No, a lot of people are hurt.
Yeah, I know.
It's not good.
Like,
Their offensive line, no, even when they're healthy, they're doo-doo. TJ Lang is their big diesel, and
I
we'll
feel
see.
bad for them, but
Yeah, their offensive line's doo-doo. They
forget
have
about
a bunch of hurt people. Guys. Who's ready to watch Brett Hundley tear out Detroit?
me. Actually, it's gonna be Aaron Jones who roasts them.
No, it's
I
gonna be
really
Brett.
wish that Brett Hundley was a little bit better.
But you only had a week. Only a week.
I hope.
I mean,
hope
his
he
first
does
2
better.
games have been terrible, but
I hope he really does good because
he will. It's the system.
it's UCLA. He's my.
He doesn't get to work with the first
You
team
got
very
Jordy
often, so-
Nelson, you got Devontae Adams, and you got Cobb.
Mm,
And they need to
Martellus-
start throwing Ty Montgomery into the freaking wide receiver area now for Cobb because Cobb's booty. He's had like 2 good games in his career. I'm just kidding.
Are you though?
He used to,
Are
be,
you?
he used to be a baller.
And another thing, so anybody that's starting Martellus or has him as their starter,
Why?
I don't know why. Someone tried to tell me earlier that Martellus is going to be somebody, Scott. And
7 months ago? No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
it looks like somebody who said he wasn't was right. Jared. Because even with Aaron Rodgers out there, they do not use a tight end.
Never. But rookies are known to, or not, he's not a rookie, but technically
To lean on a tight end?
they do, but I don't think he will. I think he's going to lean on his elite
Because the game that he
receivers.
was in, he didn't lean on anybody. Couldn't. Just fell over.
He tried to run the whole time. He's like, run. Oh, dang it.
Yeah, he might go
Go.
Vicked it. He might Vicked it. But Martellus Bennett's probably not going to play anyway. I think it's still, what's his face? Rogers?
Richard
Rodgers.
Rich Rogers.
So,
Roger
I guess
Rodgers.
if you're super desperate for some crazy reason, you can start Richard Rodgers on the bye weeks of injuries to players. So, you gotta be really desperate. Like
Ooh.
your team better be just exploding.
You would have to just wait until CJ Dorowitz comes back. But how?
Well, we were gonna say the big news to this one, but we already know about this guy.
Yep, I ruined it because I like to do that.
Yeah, you're trash. But
I just
that's
wanted to
okay.
get the first word.
You got the first words.
No, but CJ Fedorowicz should be
So,
coming back
since-
too.
Yeah, that's gonna do. a
He'll
lot
be
of
leaned
nothing.
on by
Well, if
Tom Savage,
by
yeah,
the
he will.
not so savage Tom
Yeah,
Savage.
by Tom Savage. But for the value for everybody else, with Watson going down, plummets everybody else. Which thank goodness I got those trades off.
Don't give up too early though, especially if you have.
Hopkins will find his because he's a bad quarterback's got to lean on somebody. They need their bailout players, and that's who Hopkins is.
I just really hope and pray to God that Will Fuller still has a good. Yeah, I mean he's a good receiver. He gets open like every time. Literally, DeAndre Hopkins can't get open,
He-
but
Yeah, Will Fuller
But
does
it's
do
Tom
well.
Savage
Will Fuller's
and-
also playing against the second doo-doo corner, but
hey, that's fine with me. Double covered Hopkins all day, baby.
points on your team.
Shoot.
yeah. But Will Fuller's becoming a better all-around receiver. He had some shorter
He's
routes.
not a deep
He had
threat.
8 targets
He's not
last
just a
week
deep
and
threat.
5 catches. He has the deep ability, but he's also be able to go
Also,
underneath now.
yeah, he's not
So,
one-dimensional now.
Yeah, so he has the ability
He
to
can
go
catch
ball.
now.
Yeah, you told me he couldn't catch, and I was every
He
time I watched
couldn't.
him, I
Last
was
year.
like,
Last year he had like 5 drops.
I mean, Mike Evans had plenty of drops.
Yeah,
That's
but
just
he
five-
gets thrown like
that's
fucking 30
5
feet, 30 feet over his head, and he gets like 40 targets a game. I know that's a super
That's like 5 drops.
over-exaggeration.
That Amari Cooper has like double that now.
Yeah, I know already, but he didn't have a single drop last year. What happened? I don't know. He just ate. He likes to TO it and eat popcorn.
Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So Andrew Luck's gonna be shut down for the season, so placed on IR.
I already thought that was happening.
Yep. So had a little
Should happen.
setback. So guess what? Jacoby Brissett again, another quarterback that if you need, I mean, relatively
It's a dual
easy
threat.
schedule.
Can
So,
run it and pass it.
except for he's got to play. Well, Houston's defense is buttercuppy. The worst defense he has to play is Jacksonville. So
Ooh, that's
otherwise, the
really
rest of the
good.
ones in this division are doo doo. So he's somebody that you could definitely, lean on if you need to. He actually played pretty well last game. If they're playing from behind, no, Huck and Chuck, baby.
Which they will be.
Garbage time will
Their
happen.
defense sick.
Terrible.
Even against the Tom Savage, I do not think that their defense does great.
No.
Tom Savage is going to throw probably like 2 touchdowns and like 4 picks, but still.
Ooh, Corey, you have a guy on this team. You tell me about
Who Jackson?
Jacksonville that you got that you think is good.
There is a stash that a lot of people didn't really even know about. And if you've lost a receiver like Pierre Garcon or anybody else that's been hurt of late, or somebody that's just not producing like a TY or somebody like that, pick up D.D. Westbrook. He was a rookie. He is a rookie. He got hurt in the preseason, but in the preseason he looked phenomenal. He had the best stats in college last year. He's a big receiver. He's got speed, and they said that they activated him off the IR, and he's just been looking freaking phenomenal. He's healthy. If you are desperate, even if you're not desperate, I'd pick him up. I already did in 2 leagues. Sorry. You never know though. He could be cheeks. It all depends on how, if he can transition his game into the NFL like he had in the preseason, he would be
Right.
phenomenal. But you never know until you see it. And then you also got Marquise Elite, who is phenomenal, and he's questionable. But from what I read and keep reading, is that they expect him to play. I think that he does play, and I think that he does have a good game.
Participated in practice Friday, so.
Yep, he had 2 DMPs, and then he practiced in full today, I think it was.
Yeah. Just give him a little extra rest, a little
Yep.
downtime, because they're going to need him.
That's
They're running
good.
out of weapons, so they're going to need him.
And Jalen Strong is not going to play. But no one ever thought he would play, so.
Tell me about KC.
KC.
Let's go.
And
Scotty,
JoJo?
hit me up with
Which one?
anybody.
All my life?
KC and JoJo.
Okay,
Anybody important here that we need to look at as far as players? The only one I think is Chris Conley, the receiver.
That's the only thing I can really see.
And
With
Albert
Achilles.
Wilson. Yeah, Chris Conley's been... He's out. But Albert Wilson, he's got a hammy injury. He'll be good, though. Pretty sure.
We're running down on receivers, so we'll see what happens.
But
Well, they might
they'll
bring
still be
somebody-
able. They'll still be able to beat Dallas. So.
Oh, Albert Wilson is out.
Oh, he's out now?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I saw something different.
No, so hopefully that
that
Chris
was
Conley.
today that it went in. Okay, that was yesterday.
So
I'm like,
definitely
it's a
fire
good
up.
chance.
Fire up your wide receivers you have. If you have any KC wide receivers that are like a
Tyreek
Tyreek Hill.
Or Travis Kelce.
and
Yeah,
Travis
those
Kelce
two are going to be
for sure.
heavily leaned on.
Yes, they are.
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt's gonna have a bounce back game.
He will.
They're on bye.
I think that was his first. I think that was his first week when they played against Denver that he didn't get 100 yards. All the other games he had at least 100 yards.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, who's MIA? In Miami. Not Devontae Parker. He's
Two people
back and
coming
expected
back.
to play, so that's good. Jay Cutler, hopefully coming back.
That
Should
helps
be.
Jarvis Landry out so much, man. I love it.
Yeah. So Jay Cutler comes back. That ups the value of all the receivers. So that's crazy to say, but after watching Matt Moore, it's not so crazy to say.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
that was the absolute.
I'll be
nightmare.
one person to say I thought Matt Moore was gonna be better.
Oh,
Just
think we all
because
did.
just because the one game he comes
I think
in,
we
I'm
all
like,
did.
dude, he's good, and then
Yeah.
he comes in against Baltimore and he's like, where do I throw it?
yeah. No,
Oh, you're running that way? Let me throw it behind you.
Yeah.
I was getting so mad at that.
Right. But the center is
Back.
nice.
See.
Back after concussion, so like Pouncey's back, so that'll help out Jay Cutler and good because his ribs are still bad, so he's gonna need the time to be able to actually sit up and throw and not worry about getting hit. Otherwise, the moment he starts to worry is the moment he's screwed. He is going to panic and throw picks all day,
Oh,
every
dude.
day, maybe even
Today.
yesterday. We go down to New England.
Chris Hogan missing practice. He's listed as doubtful. Just kidding, they're on a bye week. Let's go past that.
Oh, they are. Well, that's
I only knew that because I was looking at his lineup and I was like, crap. I was like, that's good.
so.
dude.
Let's go
That's
to
so
the
good.
NL.
And no.
Ooh, Delvin, bro, you're trash. No one cares anyway.
True.
He's ready to roll. Doesn't matter. It's better if you're not on the team because you just let
New
people behind you.
Orleans. New Orleans.
Wow. There's nobody on that like injury report that's
No,
even of
no one
relevance.
is worried.
Oh. Ooh.
Oh.
Yup.
Giants are back. Are they going to be back in a giant way though?
Nope.
Not against the Rams defense.
You don't think that Evan Ingram's going to get his?
Nope, they have the best or the third best defense against tight ends fantasy wise. But Evan Ingram is not a tight end to me, dude. He's a
not.
receiver.
He's a wide receiver to me too.
Like Terrell Davis. Wait, I think I'm thinking of somebody
Janoris
else.
Jenkins
Terrell Davis was a running back.
was suspended to
Yeah,
Denver.
you kind of sound dumb.
So
You should
that
just be quiet.
For the Broncos. I was thinking of Shannon Sharp.
You should just
It's the same team.
just
So the
take a
defense-
timeout, bro. Just take a timeout.
the defense is not going to do very well for the Giants.
Oh, but Janoris Jenkins is being freaking suspended indefinitely, dude.
Yeah.
Their best corner. I mean,
And
they
they
still
already
got
lost.
DRC, but
I thought they lost him, but he came back. Huh?
yeah, they suspended him. Dude, why are they keep like, yo, it's not their fault. Your team sucks.
It's Ben McAdoo.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But I'd say fire up yourself some Cooper Cup.
Cooper Cup.
Or
Todd Gurley.
Even I always don't ever
Sam
say
Sammy.
Todd Gurley.
It's them.
I was
Todd
like,
Gurley
maybe
obviously
even
finding
Sammy
out.
Watkins.
Even if you have Jared Goff,
But Robert Woods has been getting more love than Sammy.
Robert Woods. I
So
mean,
Robert Woods.
fire them all up. What's to lose, though? I mean,
True.
I guess you got a spot to lose on your
I
team.
mean, unless you have a sure thing, like a receiver for the Saints, or even a Mike Evans or Deshaun Jackson, you obviously start them over that, or I'd say start any Lions receiver
Okay,
that's a starter.
So if you wanted to start any Rams players over maybe a Juju Smith-Schuster, even though they're on a bye week this week, but would you put in a Juju Smith-Schuster even though he went off that 1 week? Or would you put a Rams knowing, hey, you know, their offense is pretty good, than just a one-hit wonder?
Depends on the matchup, but in all honesty, I don't trust Cooper Kupp enough. Like, I would trust Juju, because Juju looked lipping phenomenal. He looked good.
No.
He actually looked good,
Yeah.
and he didn't just get lucky. Like, he had that 97-yard touchdown. It's kind of like
Yeah.
he's
But he's
bursting.
second targets.
Exactly. And then Antonio Brown's gonna get double teamed, and they're
Right.
like, "Oh, Martavis Bryant," but what has he done? I don't care if Martavis Bryant comes back and like freaking roasts people. They don't want to throw to him because he's a whiny baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about not whiny babies. Let's go. We'll skip Oakland only because there's not a lot of people of note that your teams, for their stars and studs, are out there and ready to play. So that's good. So let's go to Philly.
This one's hurting me a little bit, but
Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz is the only big name on there. I still think he plays though.
Oh yeah, but if he does, you gotta worry. But don't sit him. He's the best tight end in fantasy right
I
now.
haven't had to move him in mine.
Yeah.
I kept him in. He's giving me double-digit points every week. So
Ooh, one positive though for Philly's defense is their prized corner that they traded for from Buffalo, Ronald Darby, is most likely gonna play.
Good
But it's a game time decision, so don't get too hype about that. Who are they playing? They're playing
New York.
New York.
No.
No. I was like, wait, what?
Wait, no. What was I thinking?
gosh, I have wins.
Oh, dude, they're playing Denver.
They are playing
Denver.
Denver.
Why did I think New York for some reason?
This
I don't know.
Same
Drugs are
team.
bad, okay.
College
Bad,
football.
okay. Let's skip Pitt, go down to Seattle, and then we'll end with
The other, like 10 teams.
Let's see. And we got Washington. Yeah.
We got free agents. No, I'm just
Just kidding. So, what's up, Seattle?
CJ Procise is a game time decision if you have some running back dilemma in PPR. He is a good.
You're not excited to start anybody on that.
Yeah, I
They
wouldn't.
talked about giving Eddie Lacy
I
the
was
hot
about to
hand.
say Eddie Lacy's
Yeah.
going to get the entire bulk. I think one positive though, if you have any like Washington players, honestly, I think it's so good for Washington's offense that Earl Thomas is out because he's like the best safety they have. I think he's the best defensive player on that team.
Right.
Earl Thomas makes plays. He's out, so the kicker is the tight end spot is what I think benefits the most. Vernon Davis, since Jordan Reed's out.
Yes, because Jordan Reed is out.
Vernon Davis is going to have.
Seahawks are playing Washington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's in Seattle though.
It is, but Earl Thomas is out.
Earl Thomas is out. I'm firing up Kirk Cousins now. I was going to sit him, but with Earl Thomas out, that leaves only one side that's kind of dangerous, and
Yeah.
that's
Well, Cam Chancellor's got an ankle injury too, so he said so. It's just
their two safeties are not feeling good.
yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Their hamstring too. That defense is a little.
The positive thing is the Seahawks got their offense back on track, and they got a
Looks scary.
stud left tackle, so that means it's going to be a shootout. I don't see Washington's defense shutting down Seattle.
Which we watch has to throw.
Exactly, which means he could throw two.
Fire up Jimmy.
Fire up Jimmy, baby. I'm firing him up.
Fire up Paul.
P.
Fire up
Rich,
Doug.
definitely.
All
Doug.
these black guys with really Caucasian
Some white
sounding
names,
Really
dude.
Caucasian sounding names.
Hey, what, Doug?
So
Hey, I'm Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Todd. Hey, Todd.
I have Jay Crowder. Do you think you'd want to Do you think start Jay Crowder?
Yeah, no one's gonna stop him.
I don't know. I mean, he had a very good. Hopefully, that's a breakout game last week. We'll see. It's
Well,
gonna be
they're
consistent.
talking about getting him the ball more because last year that's what they did, and it was good. Like he was getting touchdowns.
Let's talk about everybody. Talk about getting Josh Dawson first round pick the ball. That hasn't happened. Jay Crowder's been dropping. Josh Dawson's been dropping. Terrell Pryor's doo doo. Like the receivers just have been screwing over Kirk Cousins.
And his offensive line's kind of shot, but it's getting healthier, which is good. But
Word.
can't really.
San Fran, baby. Tell me about the
So.
PG.
Pierre Garcon, the number one receiver on that team, he's out. He's out for the year. He's on injured reserve. That means Marquise Goodwin. I still probably wouldn't pick up any receiver for them with that quarterback situation. Beathard is terrible. Now they don't have Hoyer, and they're even saying that they might not even start Jimmy Garoppolo, which is starting to look more and more likely because they're now out their best receiver and they're 0-8.
Oh, yeah.
So I think what they do with Jimmy Garoppolo is just have him learn the offense, ride the bench, and then
They were saying after the bye week, when they had the bye week, that then start him that week after the bye week, so he can get extra time to read the playbooks and actually get time to rest.
And then they'll franchise tag him because they have the rights to do that.
Yeah,
Right.
give him some decent money, let him prove himself. And
That's a next year fantasy thing. So if you're the type of
Dynasty.
person to think ahead, do that. Think ahead with that. Get yourself
dynasty money.
Yes.
Mine.
Oh,
Yo, let's go to Tampa Bay. Let's go to the Hard Knocks this year, and who are looking terrible. Start off with Jameis, finish the week with a full
He's
practice.
saying he feels better than he has. Let's hope that's
Prove it
true.
on the field.
Exactly.
Prove it on the field, dude.
7 touchdowns to Mike
Yeah, I
Evans.
need that because I just newly acquired Mike Evans again in the same league. For some reason, he keeps coming to my team.
Are you gonna?
I got him
Yeah,
in 2
Not
leagues.
until he gets a touchdown.
I got him in 2 leagues, so I'm
No?
cool.
Okay.
I'm not dabbing until he gets a touchdown. And I'm not playing you, so he can go off.
Hell yeah, dude, let's get it. It's playing against you, though.
He can go off even more. As
So
long
here's
as
the
be
thing,
zero. Hey, Scott, we're moving on.
I love you, but
Hey, you're still talking. There's a problem with that. I don't understand what you do over there.
I love you, but you are not gonna win your league tomorrow, Sunday with Mike Evans. Sorry.
So anybody out there's a new hosting spot that just opened up.
That's what you think.
The
Wait, what?
new hosting spot that just opened up across from me.
Oh, that's cute.
So anybody that wants to join, Jake, Trav, you're more than welcome to.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. We got
All I see is this right now.
I mean,
Really? Because all I see is this. Buckets!
I'm not going to
Wow.
say anything because I don't want to. Yeah.
You don't want to get kicked off either?
No, not that.
Oh.
Oh, we skipped something in Tennessee.
No, we haven't seen. We're just getting it out.
I know, my bad.
Wow.
We started talking about other things.
Let's talk about Corey Davis. Clear for week 9, huh?
Corey Davis. I got him
Hopefully
2 of the league, boy.
Oh, yeah, I drafted him, dropped him, and you can have him.
Dude, it's the only game he
Here's the
played.
thing.
He had 15 points.
He's gonna be awesome.
I know. Maybe.
He's gonna be, but I didn't say when.
I know. It could be this year or next year.
Yep, I didn't say when. So you gotta speak open, right? No.
Could be next year.
Yeah, it could be 3 years from now. I didn't say
But
when.
Delaney Walker's most likely not going to play, so that gives him more targets. And then also
True.
John
For the rookie, baby,
the young
Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith. Is that how you say it? Jonnu? I was kidding.
Jonnu.
Jonnu Smith, the rookie. Let's get at it. Let's see how they come off their bye. Let's see if they're fired up. Let's see if they're ready to play, or see if it's nap time. And it can very well be nap time. So we don't know. They're against Baltimore, so they were stingy last week. We'll see what they do this week.
Big news for a different team. The Oakland A's. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, man. No, but Washington's got some good news. They are getting a older superstar safety. He used to be a superstar, I think. D'Angelo Hall, or corner. He's coming. He's back. He is a safety, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought they moved him to safety or whatever. Yeah, safety.
He's
Because he was a corner. He got
most
too old.
likely gonna play this week.
Dude, how long has he been playing? Like 15 years?
Dude, since that man Sean
Oh,
Taylor,
dude.
rest in peace.
Gosh, it's been a long time. Let's see if it helps the defense or what. So we'll find out.
I hope it does. Make it a
Same.
good game.
Ooh. here we go.
Uh-oh, Jamison Crowder.
Hammy, admitted Friday that his injury has been a major impact on his explosiveness. Ooh. You feel
Feels
confident?
good. Okay, that's just he's talking about the entire year though he's had it.
Yeah.
That's
That's
why
not
you-
good.
That's why you need to take a week or two off. Deal with it. Just freaking rehab it. Make it feel better. Don't be stupid and think that I have to play. I have to play.
Right. You shouldn't have to play. You have so many times and years to play. And you got a bye
Ooh.
week.
And he's worried about that injury lingering the rest of the season coming from Jameson Crowder himself. So it must be
Yeah.
nagging pretty bad.
Well, whose fault is that?
His for not taking the proper precautions.
Hmm.
I know he wants to play, but sometimes you gotta let it go, man. You gotta get yourself healthy and get right first. So, well, so we'll see how's that,
Care about
or
yourself
how's that
more
goes,
than
and
the
then
game.
Jordan Reed.
Out again. He's like the better
like-
version of Tyler Eifert.
I was just gonna say he's better than when in doubt, eye for out.
Yeah.
So
Rob Kelly also questionable, huh?
Yeah.
Expected to play through
Ankle
ankle
injury.
injury, but we'll see what happens.
I think Samaje Perine does better. I think that he finally
Comes into his own.
comes into
Well,
at least a part of his own.
that helps me though. With Rob Kelly's now.
Yeah, because you got Chris Thompson against me. Oh, that's
Oh, it's in both leagues. I got
I
Chris
don't care.
Thompson both.
I'm not
I
afraid.
know.
I'm not afraid. of him.
Oh, why are you backing away?
Because if he gets a touchdown, I get a touchdown. Because he ain't rushing for shit.
Oh, that's true. Forgot about that.
So they're talking about here, Terrell Pryor, maybe getting a bigger workload now his foot's healed up. He said that's been hampered him. That's been
That
controlling
could
his snap count.
Definitely.
Is that why you've been dropping balls and whatnot?
Dude, if you have a bad heel, it kind
All
of
right,
does.
it might not be why he's dropping balls, but
It's
his
not.
usage is
It's
also been
definitely
down.
not why.
It will explain why his usage has been down. Not been running very many routes.
And it's, yeah, dude, he's not running the routes he normally runs. He's running short
he should be
routes.
like-
He doesn't do short routes.
Should
all
be
the-
like James
that.
Crowder though. Don't play then if your foot's hurting.
You
Yeah.
shouldn't.
I mean, he didn't play, really.
I mean,
They didn't play him at all, man. I was like,
No,
dude.
it's
funny.
Josh Doxson
48
only got-
snaps in 2 weeks isn't much. When you most players play 48
True.
snaps in a game. So
That's true.
yeah, yeah.
With all them injury news.
Yeah, it's all the major injury news.
This what them injury news.
For real.
News.
Any other news? Anything else that we need to know for now?
I'm looking on NFL right now.
Yeah, dude, tell me something. We can freestyle the rest of it. Usually this will be freestyle Fridays in the
We already
original.
kind of talked about
series.
Zeke. Screw that.
Yeah.
Should have dropped Alfred Morris and
So I was reading, and they were talking about how Rod Smith might be the number 2 over
there was
Alfred
3 different reports that said 3 different things,
Yeah.
and it was annoying because one had DeMarco Murray as the number, not DeMarco Murray, Darren McFadden. What is going on with?
Bad at this.
I feel a little sick, guys. I'm hot. It's super hot in here. I feel like I'm having a.
It's not even that hot.
Heat
I'm
stroke.
always hotter than everybody else.
I'm hotter than everybody else. What are you talking about? I'm sexy. I'm just kidding.
What's in this cup?
Hey, we have some.
Dude.
Throw up too.
Are you about to do 2 dudes, 1 cup? Whoa.
I'm
Why
gonna
would
have
you
to
bring
edit
that
this
up?
podcast.
Because you're going to throw up in the cup and then skip?
No, I'm about to edit this podcast. I might just not even air it now.
Cool, I'm fine with that. I hate this. I quit!
Oh, you were fired. I didn't know why you're here. I didn't even know why you showed up.
No, just
Put that down.
Whoa.
Alright, I'm definitely cutting that out. Though.
Yeah, you should, because my belly's white as fuck.
And I have to cut that out. That's a lot more work for me.
You are a lot more work.
Go Suns, baby!
That was so random. I love you.
Adios.
Bye.